Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. This is a special guest. We don't normally do interviews on Saturday, but we just had to get this young man on the channel. Let's welcome Tanner to the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well. So the reason you are a special guest today is because you have an impressive story that just needs to be shared. So what caught my attention is you went from 0 to 10 units by the age of 25. I don't even start my real estate investing journey until I'm 30. So I need to hear all kinds of stuff. But before we get into my Q&A, why don't you introduce yourself, who you are, where you at, what you do, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in the Seattle area. I just turned 25, right? But I've been doing this real estate investing, I say, for 3 years. Okay. But 2 of those years were straight research and education. So really those 10 units have come in the past year. Okay. That I've really put my mind to it and started taking action. So yeah, that's the brief rundown.
Okay. So let's peel that back a little bit. So so 25 minus 3 means you're 22. See, I can do math in my head. Public school education. Awesome. So what happens at 22 that makes you look at real estate? Because that's not normal, right? Was your family into it? Did something happen around you? Did you see an example? What makes a 22-year-old guy go, real estate investing is going to be my thing?
Yeah, so it wasn't that easy. My dad is, I call the average Joe investor with real estate, just kind of bought on market. Yep. Wasn't an active investor by any means. And so I guess I kind of had that background, but more so I saw how many people who were successful in America got wealthy through real estate, and not only the wealth, but the freedom. And that's really what I was after is that freedom to do what I want, and to have those rentals pay for my lifestyle.
Okay. All right. So I just want to make sure the background. So your dad owned a couple of rentals. It sounds like were you out there with them looking at deals? Were you painting? Were you working on stuff? Or were you just like, my dad's got a rental, I don't really know what's going on?
The latter.
The latter. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. He had a few rentals. I was never involved in them. Okay.
So he didn't beat you up and say, son, go paint the bedroom or something like that.
No, but funny that you did say that. When I was either a teenager or just getting into my 20s, so old enough. He brought me out. This is the only time he brought me out. He does property management, but they're long-term tenants. He does property management just for his rentals. That's not his self-management. But yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the opposite of what I do in my business. Yeah. And maybe this is the reason why. But one time he brought me out, and I kid you not, it was the most disgusting garage I had ever been to. Even still, like doing off-market wholesaling, I've been in some nasty places. Yeah. But this long-term tenant, there was a plumbing issue for a week, and they used coolers as their toilet. And
oh my goodness,
we had to move these coolers. Obviously, I didn't have to but anyways, it was disgusting. It was ugly. And now I make sure all my numbers work with property manager.
Just assume you're paying a property manager.
Yeah, exactly right.
Smart man. All right. So, so you have that experience. It's funny. One shout out to the parents out there that want to get their kids involved. I strongly suggest you bring them to nice properties or clean properties. Cause I made the same mistake, right? She was a teenager, but early teens, not late. I brought her because it was 2010, 11, 12. Everything was junk, right? And I brought her to some of they were bad. And she doesn't want anything to do with real estate. Anyways, I digress to a personal story. Sorry. So, so you see freedom, you see this as a possibility. You read. So what do you do for a couple of years? You kind of try to find your lane, buy and hold, wholesale, flip, tell me about those first 2 years, right? Do you just jump into YouTube University, Bigger Pockets forums? What are you doing, Tanner?
Well, It's funny that you say that because in your background, I see the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. That book I call my investing Bible.
Nice. Mine too. It started my journey.
Yep, exactly right. And it kind of sounds like a cultish book because of the following. But every single time I tell like one of my friends or buddies, like, I want to get into real estate, I say, read that book. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that gave me a lot of direction. Just kind of going back to that freedom, and that kicked off my obsession with studying. So it went from there to Think and Grow Rich, several other books, and then Bigger Podcasts, or Bigger Pockets podcast was a huge one for me.
Nice.
So
all right. So you jump in, you're committed. So what did you do first? So, a couple years in, do you go to wholesaling first? Is that what you do? And then you kind of wholesale a couple, buy, or what's the beginning of, Tanner's actually an investor versus just someone being educated?
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that, because it's not like I really decided. I was in a buy and hold section. I just wanted to get a rental based on Bigger Podcast or Bigger, geez, I cannot talk today. Bigger
Pockets
podcast. They were saying get 8 to 10% cash on cash. So I was analyzing several deals a day, trying to find that. And there was one for sale by owner on Zillow that I was working with for like 6 months. I was communicating with this guy and finally got it locked down. And it's funny because I actually met my mentor because he was offering on those same duplexes. It was 2 duplexes on one lot.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And so
now, was this in your backyard, or was it out of state, or where were we?
This was 2 hours away from me in Moses Lake, 2 or 3 hours. So a day's trip away. That's what I want. I want to be close by enough.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. So you find this, your intention. So you lock it up. Your intention was buy and hold.
I actually did. I still own that one.
Okay, so you did it successfully.
My mentor introduced me. He coached me through finding off-market deals.
Okay.
And so the concept was to wholesale, but I've been buying a lot of the ones that I find off-market in the past year.
All right. So let's talk about that, right? Because so let's talk about that first deal. So it's 4 units, right? 2 duplexes, correct?
Yep.
So what were the numbers? What was the price you locked it up at?
$345.
All right. So you $345. Did you get seller financing, 80% LTV loan from a bank? What was going on there?
Yep, 80% LTV. So just pretty conventional, pretty basic.
All right. So I got to ask, Tanner, you're 25. How do you go about saving $70,000?
That's a great question. So to me, I've been in software sales, and I've done pretty well in sales. So I did have some capital, but it took a lot of sales because I've had partners on all my deals. And so it first started with family, and I'm putting in 50% as well.
Okay.
And so I made slideshows. I broke down the numbers and I presented that. And the first one was with my father.
Okay.
But I say that, but I'm fully confident I could have gotten anyone to invest in this. So
let me summarize what I think you just said, because I want people to hear this. So first and foremost, I don't know if you know my background, but I was a software sales guy for decades. So
there we go.
I get it.
Yeah.
Are you selling enterprise, B2B, B2C? What are you selling?
In between B2B and B2C, I sell to loan officers. So they're their own businesses, but
I got it. All right. So you find a deal, you do all the work, you get a good price. What was your expected cash on cash going to be, right?
When I locked it up, it was 9% cash on cash.
So it's a good deal, right? So I talk about buy box and I talk about knowing average. So your average deal in Seattle was 7 or 8. You lock up a 9. It's a great deal. All good stuff. Now I'm going to round it up 70 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You have half that, 35 grand. How do you get half that? You live below your freaking means. It is not that hard, right? So you have 35 grand in this example. Now you need to go find the other 35 grand. Well, what do? Well, you lean on telling, educating people, telling them what again, this is how go back. I was writing on Bigger Pockets back in 2010, and I was writing about how I was getting all this private money. How do you get private money? You don't ask for it. You basically, this is all I'm doing. This is why it's a good deal. And you do that to enough people, they go, hey, I like 9%. 9% is better than 0.005 in the bank. It's a secured position, blah, blah, blah. Pretty easy to go. So, okay. So you do the work, you pitch to people. In this case, your dad strokes a check for 35 grand. I'm curious, is he on the loan as well? Or is it just you and he's kind of like a silent partner? Or how did that all work out?
He is on the loan.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. That makes I get it then. So that's awesome. So you bought this, when did you close?
Almost like a year ago, probably within 11 to 12 months from today.
That's awesome.
It's coming full circle, which is really cool.
So congratulations. Let's talk about being a landlord at 25 for a year. When you bought it, did you have to kick anybody out? Did you have to raise rents? Were there any surprise maintenance issues? Let's talk about the first 90 days. What'd you learn in the first 90 days?
Yeah, so this is a good time. I lucked out in my first one. They were all paying. This is right before COVID hit. Yeah. So, no, was this?
It had to be after, right? So COVID hit like February, March. So this is probably the summertime of last year or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So COVID was happening in this sense, and they were all paying.
Okay.
Which was really good. I did zero rehab on this one.
Okay.
And I still have done zero rehab. I mean, extensive. I've done maintenance, of course.
Right.
Okay. But I lucked out.
What was the biggest expense in the first year?
I had a plumbing fix for $1,200.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. I mean, that happens, right? I remember the first time somebody flushed a Barbie doll down one of my toilets. That was, I was like, why is there a Barbie doll? I didn't put it there. Somebody in this house put it there. Yeah. Crazy stuff happens. All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, okay. So some is good, more is better. You've done the work. You know how to find great deals. You're looking for off market. You know how to raise private money. You get partners. So that's 4 of your 10 units. What comes next?
Yeah. And that was the transition I was going into, because the first one was easy. I had an amazing property manager. I didn't have to think about it much. And that's going into why property management is such a big deal for me, just because getting rid of that headache and that mind space.
Sure.
The second deal was in my backyard.
Okay.
In the Seattle area.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, it's in my backyard. I can handle a value add.
All right.
So I find a 3-unit in my backyard.
All right.
The numbers are penciling in right about 8%, but the appreciation's better.
Okay.
Because it's closer to Seattle.
Sure.
So I'm excited about it. I budget like 100K rehab.
Okay. So what was the purchase price? Sorry.
$550.
Woo. All right. So $550, same deal, 20% down, just normal loan.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. And you have a partner 50-50 again?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're at 110 on the down, then you have 100K. Okay. I'm just getting notes down. Okay. All right. You budget 100. Dude, that's 33K a unit.
Yep.
You're doing a lot of stuff for 33K.
Yep, exactly right. So this is like a full remodel. Okay. And I had never done, I did my own personal house.
Sure.
Sorry, my dog is
no, we love dogs on this channel.
There we go.
Yeah. If he wants to come say hi, it's fine with me.
Yes. She's right here. She's
she's got a ball in her mouth. She wants to play.
Yeah, she's ready to play.
All right. What's her name? Sorry.
Indy is her name.
There you go. Well, Indy Tanner will be ready shortly.
Yes, exactly.
Daddy will be ready soon. All right,
we'll have to go to the park.
There you go.
But yeah, so I budgeted this. It's a big rehab. I had done my own personal residence, kind of like a live-in flip. So I had some experience, but definitely not to this degree.
Yeah. And when you say in your backyard, just so I can get timing, we talking 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
7 minutes.
Okay. So like, okay, got it.
Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this is, I've moved since then, but
okay.
at the time, yeah, I was 7 minutes away.
All right.
And I had no intention of fixing this one myself. And so when it came time to hiring contractors, it was something. I'll like,
So it was a learning experience.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it was overwhelming, but I learned so much in that experience. And I'm handling all this by myself. Like I'm in control. I have to get this done.
Right.
I have holding costs. I need to get renters in there. And during COVID, at least in my area, in the Seattle area, contractors are hard to come by, especially good ones.
Everywhere. Yeah. It really got weird there for a while. So let me ask about the first. So 3 units, 5. Was it empty when you bought it?
I asked for it to be vacant at close. Okay. So I did a 2-month close so it could be vacant.
Okay, good. Because that makes sense. All right. So you buy an empty building, and again, you get a loan. You still get just a standard bank 80%. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. You close on it empty. Sorry. How long between when you close and you get your first tenant in? How many months or weeks?
6 months.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, that's 6 mortgage payments. That's
6 mortgage payments.
All right. So was that the plan all along, or
no.
Okay. So what was the plan when you closed? Like, I'm going to get the first person in 60 or 90 days, or what happened?
Yeah, 90 days, 3 months for the rehab. So it's a duplex in the back and a single family up front.
Okay.
And so my plan was to fix one, put tenants in, and finish the rest.
Okay.
And long story short, I had a contractor who I was getting several complaints from the neighbors. Turns out he was a meth head. Like, I'm not, no judgment, but like the paraphernalia was there, everything. And it ended up being this huge ordeal. I had to fire him. My first construction job. It was crazy, and ended up losing like probably 20K from his mistakes and what I owed him. So it was quite the.
So you got better at selecting contractors, because nobody, again, and one of the things that understand in real estate investing, again, you're 25 and you're ahead of the game, so congratulations. But this is for others. You will make mistakes in this business. Everyone will. I still make them. What I challenge you to do is never make them twice.
Yep.
Right. You make a mistake once, cost of doing business, implement process procedures, but you make that mistake again, that's on you. Yep. That's your right. The most expensive mistakes are the ones I repeat. So you've implemented processes, referrals, checks and balances, so you don't do that again. No more meth heads.
That's exactly right. And so that mentor from Moses Lake, my first deal, was now on my side on this second one.
Oh, cool.
So he was in my ear the whole time, but I was too stubborn. He was telling me to fire this guy a long time ago, like
at 10K in, 5K
yes,
in.
exactly right.
Fire his ass.
Yeah. So if I would have listened to him, and he is like I'm super thankful for him, Scotty. That's his name. Shout out, Scotty.
Yeah, nice job, Scotty. You tried to save him 50 grand, but Tanner didn't want to listen.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest thing I have learned, especially in that scenario, is being cheap does not get you more money, especially in real estate.
Yes, I have made that mistake. My first couple of properties, I bought junk, and I Band-Aids don't hold.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that doesn't mean you can't live below your means. I think being frugal is a lot different than being cheap.
Sure.
And I was looking for the cheapest bid.
I've been there.
Yep.
It so rarely works out. It's not good.
Yeah.
All right. So exactly. 6 months in, I'm gonna guess a little stressful.
Very. Yeah. Very stressful.
It
stopped my education. It stopped my prospecting. It stopped all of my progress because it was so overwhelming.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All along the way, the 4 units from transaction 1 still humming along. No. Okay. Yep. So that's good, because that would have gone sideways. It would have been tough, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And so that one actually was better than I thought it was. It ended up being like a 12% cash on cash. So
I love that.
I still believed in real estate, but this specific job was really.
Yeah, it was the job, not real estate. It was.
Yep, exactly.
I made a mistake here. You know, sometimes we take a mistake and we blow it up to the entire thing. The real estate market's not bad. No, you just hired a meth head.
Yep.
Shame on you.
Yeah, right? Exactly right.
That doesn't make all real. Okay. So you finally fire the guy, you suck up a loss. The next contractor comes in and kind of gets it done, but maybe slower than expected.
I don't think it was slower than expected. Okay. I think it was just like figuring out how to fix this method mistakes.
You got to undo to redo. Yeah.
And I let him be in there way too long. And I kept telling myself, okay, I need to get as much money out of him as I can. Like, have him finish this, have him do this before he runs off with the rest of my money, which if I was smart, I would have just cut it off early, cut my losses,
sunk cost, then done,
recovered.
Well, you won't make that mistake again.
Nope, I will not make that mistake again.
So so now let's fast forward. How's the 3 units today? You got more rent than you thought? It yields better? What's going on?
Oh, I am happy to say it is an amazing deal. It is, yes. And I think that the crazy housing market definitely helped with that because I got lucky. Like even the rents increased.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Significantly from that delay. So maybe it was like,
oh, I lost 6 months, but rents went up $300.
Yeah, exactly.
Shocking. Yeah.
So, I mean, my mortgage payment on that one, let's see, is like 2,200.
Okay.
Maybe I'm off. I get confused now with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so hard.
But it's cash flowing. The cash on cash is like 12-13% on that one.
Rents are higher, right? Yeah.
Yep. So it's a good deal.
Oh yeah.
It's
sounds
property
like a great
managed.
deal. Yeah.
So and the value has gone up a ton. So I'm okay with it.
What do you like? Like you say a ton. I always like numbers like 7 and a quarter. What are we talking about?
Are you talking about cash on cash?
No, I'm talking about value. 700 grand, 7 and a quarter. You bought it for 550.
I think this one's at 850.
Woo!
Yep.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah, that does not suck. Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, so that means your LTV is about 50%, right? Because you put 20% down. So smart man. All right, so we're up to 7 units now. Where's the final 3 come from?
The final 3 are all single family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my mentor Scotty, 2 of those are with him.
Okay.
And the last one is with my brother, who I found the deal, and that's a different story. That's another learning lesson.
Oh no. All right.
I'm getting out of now, but yeah. So I've been kind of what I strongly suggest people, and what has helped me grow this net worth and this these units is finding off-market deals. That's like my bread and butter.
So let's talk about how do you do that? So you're looking through Zillow for sale by owners and Craigslist. Are you paying Propstream, or what are you doing?
So what I say is, if you're looking for a penny, you're gonna find a penny.
I like that.
And so that doesn't mean that's my business, but that's helped me out a ton. So I've found deals on Facebook Marketplace. I've found deals by word of mouth. But the center of my business is I pull a title list. So I ask for 1990 and older homes owned for 20 years plus, 50% equity. And so I pull that list. Yeah. And then
when you say, just so people realize, when you say, are you just going to a title company and doing that, using one of these apps? What are you doing?
A title company.
Okay. So you give your criteria and say, hey, I want these things. They charge you 3 cents a record or whatever it is. And there you go.
That's exactly right.
And then I mail them?
So I skip trace first.
Yep.
And then I do postcards and cold calling. I've hired VAs from the Philippines to do some of my cold calling.
Yep.
And postcards as well. And now I'm starting to do my own cold calling.
Nice.
Just to kind of get more into the weeds and the operations of it.
Very cool. So folks, on my channel, I will put a link below for Propstream. It is a service that can do that and skip tracing and do postcards right from it. Propstream has been very helpful for the people in my office in Fresno. So I'll put a link below, 7-day trial for free. Go play with it, go nuts, learn your buy box. So, all right. So you're 25, 10 units. That's amazing. So do you know your financial nut, what I call your freedom number? Like Tanner needs $5,386 and Tanner's free. Do you know what that number is?
25,000 a month for me to.
That's not your freedom number. That's your goal.
Okay, my freedom number.
Like, like when I look at your mortgage, your food, your
5,000 a month. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah.
25 is me. I'm stopping doing what I'm doing. I'm living. I'm going to wherever I want, whenever I want with my wife and kids.
Yeah.
I don't have kids yet, but yeah, 5,000 is my freedom number.
Because there's steps in this journey. The first one is work is completely optional. Then there's the goal.
Yep, exactly.
This one's first. So, okay. So let's call it. And by the way, your number's not $5,000. You're being lazy, just so we're clear. Go freaking add your numbers up, because it's got to be like $4,807. It's some odd number. 5,000 is lazy. You're 25. It's okay. But go back and do the math, because it's not 5,000.
I need to. Yeah.
It's not.
I appreciate you calling me out.
Yeah. You're just being lazy. That's okay. No, I was lazy. I didn't even start till I'm 30. So you're way ahead of me, but still it's not 5,000. So 10 units. So your net worth certainly is 7 figures now. Congratulations with all the appreciation, some luck. But again, I don't want to call it luck. You did the work, right? You got in, you did 2 years of research. I guess one thing to ask, the 3 houses, are they backyard? Are they far away, or what's going on with those?
2 of them are in my backyard-ish, like 30 minutes. Okay. And then one of them is in Moses Lake.
Okay, so back to the other one. Yeah. Okay.
That's like my more cash flow market.
Yeah.
This is more my appreciation market.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. So are you, I don't know, I'm just going to wild ass guess. So if your number is $5,000, which I'll just call it that for now, which it isn't, but I'll call it that.
I'll do my homework.
There you go. Yeah. Send me a text, because it's not freaking $5,000.
Yeah.
I got to guess you're probably 3,800 today with the 10 units.
I mean, with partners.
And, oh, that's right. You got to cut that out. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm at a 50%.
So maybe more like $2,000.
Yeah. I'm right around 2,500. And that's with all my reserves.
Oh yeah.
The safe conservative route.
So you're 40% of the way there at 25.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Some words of advice I would give you, because again, you're 25 and I was young once also. There might be a time where you get to like $4,000 and the number's still 5. You might start saying stupid things like, oh, I deserve this, or I deserve that. And then what happens is that $5,000 becomes $7,000 and you're still at 4. And all you've done is you've bought more time in the business. Really protect that $5,000, because once you get over it, life changes. But if you get close and then you move the goalpost, it's crushing. So that's some words of advice. Other than that, I would tell you to keep going. I love that analogy. If you look for a penny, you find a penny. I think that is genius. Off market is great. It's just, you're doing some amazing things. And then private money partnerships. Awesome. Dude, I just love what you're doing. How can people follow you? You have an Instagram page. How can people follow you?
Yeah, so I've started this content initiative pretty recently, but I'm the Investor Tanner on Instagram, YouTube as of recently. I'm 2 videos in, so
nice.
Make sure you see the progress.
Yeah,
and then TikTok, the Investor Tanner as well. Nice.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Any oh, I love this. Any kind of let's give your closing advice, maybe 3 action items for, since you're 25. So talk to the 20-year-olds, the 20 to 25-year-olds. What would you tell them? What would Tanner tell them the 3 keys are? And we'll wrap on that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. I think number 1 is networking. I'm a firm believer that your net worth is your network.
Mm-hmm.
And in this past year, that's been the biggest takeaway, is utilizing your network and expanding your network from the people that you do know. Start with your friends and family, start with your Facebook groups, DM people, do whatever it takes to grow that network, and your net worth will follow. The second thing is what you hit on, is live below your means. My wife loves Target. That's her kryptonite. My kryptonite, I guess I should say, her favorite. And she's always saying, you have 10 units. Why can't I go splurge? Why can't I get this Louis Vuitton bag? And that freedom number is a good I guess reason for that is I don't want to, just because I've had this progress, I'm not at my goal, and I'm not at that freedom that I'm striving for. So living below your means, if I have any spare money, I'm thinking about my next deal. I'm thinking about how much money this can make me and how much time this can buy me back. When my kids are playing sports, especially, that's a motivator for me.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think third and lastly is consistency. No matter how overwhelmed you can be, taking the smallest action items a day will put you closer and closer to your goal. I had my mentor's mentor. So I worked a lot with Thatch Nguyen.
Mm-hmm. Thatch is great.
Yeah, I was a coach for his program as well. He's amazing. He's taught me a lot more about life, I guess, than real estate, which is hard to understand because he's taught me a ton about real estate as well. But something that his mentor taught him that has really stuck with me is these lake sessions, was what they call them. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you feel like there's something that's so big that you can't achieve it, or it's slowing you down, write down the 3 biggest things that are slowing you down from hitting your goals every single day, and maybe pick one of those things that's overwhelming you, and pick 3 action items to attack that.
Nice.
And in real estate, you're going to have a lot of those overwhelming problems or situations that you're trying to get out of. I'm in one right now. Like, it doesn't go away. So being able to delegate your time and your mind space is huge. So that consistency again, to uncover that.
Very cool, Tanner. That was awesome. One more time, what is the IG and YouTube page?
The Investor Tanner.
Very cool, buddy. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time this Saturday.
Of course. I appreciate it a ton, Michael.